We have startling new information tonight about whether your kids are safe on the football field. Our investigation uncovered more than a dozen area high schools using two of the worst football helmets on the market. They were recently rated by a Virginia Tech professor who says these helmets should never be worn. They don't protect your child's head. Rachel DePompa joins us with more in this NBC 12 investigation.
I spent the last 5 months looking into the football helmets used in our area. There's a new rating system out there which helps you know which ones reduce the risk for concussions. There's one helmet that is so bad the manufacturer recently went out of business. But our investigation shows local high school kids are wearing this helmet.
Under the magic and pageantry of the Friday Night Lights,
Sam Rogers on the carry
is a game that thrives on tackles and toughness. The hits keep coming in football. But how hard are they? And are these kids really protected? A researcher at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg made it his mission.
And we tested every helmet that was publicly available
to know which helmets are working and which are not.
You can feel the difference. I mean, this scored very, very poorly.
We traveled to Blacksburg to visit Stefan Duma in his high-tech lab. He bought every helmet on the market at random so no manufacturers could doctor them. And for over a year, he strapped them to the head of a dummy and dropped them from different heights, creating the country's first ever football helmet rating system.
The helmet is kind of the third layer of protection. You got to coach well, you got to enforce the rules, and then there's the helmet.
Duma says the average high school football player takes 400 to 1,000 hits a season.
Most of the impacts are 20, 30, 40 Gs.
That's 20, 30, 40 times the force of gravity.
You know, one person can have a 100 G impact and be fine, another person can have a 50 G impact and have a concussion.
Which is why having that extra protection inside a helmet is important.
Well, the players are getting bigger, faster, and stronger. There's no question. You know, you've got a 300-pound guy that runs like a deer.
He says the better helmets are bigger and have more padding.
Now, there's some real clever engineering that's gone into this, but the bigger helmets with more padding reduce the acceleration. That reduces risk. These are all 4 and 5 stars, so there's a lot of choice. It's not just one.
He gave the best helmet, the Rydell Revolution Speed, 5 stars and ranked them all the way down to the 1-star VSR 4 and the not rated Adams. He does not recommend either helmet. Looking at these helmets, you can see the difference. This is a 5-star helmet. This one is not recommended at all. It's an Adams, and it is being used by some of the districts in Richmond. Our investigation into 30 local high schools found that almost half still have the 2 worst-rated helmets in the study on their rosters. The Adams is not recommended, did not get a star, but is still in the mix at Patrick Henry in Hanover and Elsie Bird, Thomasdale, and James River in Chesterfield. 14 schools in our area still list the 1-star VSR 4 on their rosters. Petersburg, 1 in Hanover, 4 schools in Henrico County, and 8 schools in Chesterfield all make the list for a helmet even the manufacturer does not recommend. A few schools in our area are using the Adams A2000. What would you say?
I would say they should do everything they could to get new helmets. And if you're a parent and your son's in that helmet, you should go out and buy a helmet. We don't think anybody should be playing competitive football with this helmet.
I got in touch with all 4 school districts using these helmets, and because of our investigation, Chesterfield, Hanover, and Petersburg have pulled the helmets. Henrico County has pledged to phase these low-rated helmets out of use. Now, it's also important to note that there's no correlation between cost and safety. The worst helmet on the list retails for $200. One of the 4-star helmets sells for $170. Rachel DePompa, NBC 12 News.
Do we have to say it? Take a look at your child's helmet. We posted that ranking system on NBC12.com along with which helmets are being used at each local high school. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., Rachel